With us on the phone, Logan head baseball coach Kevin Gertz, back from Florida. Coach, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
Stocking Sam's orders. I wish I could coach and not have to go shop all the time.
I understand completely. Well, let me see if I have this factually correct. You usually go to Myrtle Beach, right, for spring break, but this year you went to Florida because it lined up with the NASA launch of Artemis II, and there's a connection to Logan High School and the Logan baseball program with NASA. So that's all correct, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, we would have gone to Myrtle Beach, but they used to have 3 weeks of tournaments, like back to back to back. And our principals got together and said they're only having tournaments during their spring break.
Okay.
Because it hurt their, and then so our spring breaks didn't line up, and we got this. And Jared Willis, who played second base for us, his dad coaches with us, Jim Willis. He is a big time engineer for NASA, and I'm not saying that he put this on for us, but it was a pretty good big deal. It was unreal.
I would say. Now, the photos you sent to me earlier today were as good as I've seen. I mean, all the Associated Press, all the national photos, the ones you sent to me were as good and as colorful as I've seen through this deal. So, what was that like?
I probably have some videos also. The kids and the rest of my coaches got to go on the beach, but I was trying to get dinner for them, and we were an hour later than what we thought. And by the time I got there, the launch was about 10 minutes. There's no way I could have made it to the beach in 10 minutes, so I stayed on the balcony where our rooms were and watched it from there. One of my best friends in high school took his camera, and that's where all the still shots came from, and he blew them up and sent them to me.
Okay.
So I mean that was a heck of a deal.
So what was it like? What was that experience like watching that thing launch?
Well, it was like nothing I've ever seen. Now, I was expecting it to be very loud. It wasn't on the takeoff so loud. I mean, when it first took off, you heard nothing. Actually, the rocket was probably 35 to 40 miles away from where we were staying. But he blew the pictures up so well it looked like it was 10 feet away. And, the sound waves eventually got us, but Coach Willis, Jared's dad, said, Kevin, it would be so awesome if we were here another 2 weeks. I said, but I can't afford that. He said, because the sound that it makes re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, he said, it about blow you out off the ground. It's unreal.
So
when we got up there, the launch was Wednesday. I scheduled so we would have Wednesday off so those kids could see that and spend time with their families. On Tuesday, Elon Musk sent a satellite up in a smaller rocket that while we were playing, some of our mothers saw it. I didn't see it or hear it. And then about 3:30 Thursday morning, he sent up another. And Jared told me that he has sent up like 9,000 satellites for that Starlink. I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And his goal is to reach 12,000 satellites so it could cover the entire world.
Wow.
I'd like to have that kind of money.
Yeah, no kidding. What was the experience? What a field trip for these youngsters. I mean, it's once in a lifetime for most people. What were the reaction of the boys when you all got back together?
When they were all excited. We had gone up where we played was about 30 minutes from where we were staying. I was under the assumption that you just walked out and you could walk to the field. No, that wasn't the case. This used to be the Washington Nationals spring training complex. and there were 14 fields on this complex, all turfed. So you had like a called the red pod.
Mm-hmm.
You had 4 teams called the white, 4 fields called the white pod. That the home plates were kind of like just pointing at each other, and there was a concession stand in the middle of it. And then there was a girls softball field, and then there was a stadium where when the Nationals were there, they actually played in. It's as big as Power Park or Go-Mart Park or whatever it's called now. But it was unreal. We had a scheduling conflict that they thought they had sent to me, and they did not. And our times were mixed up one day, and he said, "I'll tell you what, since there was a screw-up, why don't you play in the stadium?" I said, "That's a heck of a thing to do, buddy. We'll play right there." And that was the only loss we had. We had a medium fly ball hit the left field, and it had rained earlier in the day, and my left fielder was right there. And when he came to stop, his feet slipped out from under him. The bases were loaded. It hit right behind him and rolled all the way to the fence for a triple. Scored 3 runs. Then we had a wild pitch, scored the 4th run. We were down 4-0 before we even came to bat. And this kid he's a heck of an outfielder, but he couldn't help his feet slipping out from under him.
Yeah.
Or we go 4-0. We're playing good baseball.
Well, that's good. One more thing back to the NASA situation. You mentioned Jared Willis, and I remember him, middle infielder for your team, and was a good player. So now that's the connection, right? He graduated from Logan High School, played baseball for you, and now is an engineer with NASA. I
had coached Legion ball when Jared played. My dad was the head coach of the high school, but we had it worked out where I coached the summer and he coached all spring. And when Jared was 18, his dad said, "Would you mind writing a little thing here? I want to try to put Jared up for this state player of the year." And I said, "Okay." Well, I typed up a big thing. Not that I'm a great writer or anything. Well, there was only 1 or 2 teams that did that, and he ended up winning the state player of the year. When we won and went on to the regionals, that paper went to the regionals. There were 8 teams there. He ended up being the regional player of the year. And when they went to the World Series, they sent that paper on. He ended up being the National American Legion Baseball Player of the Year.
Wow.
And it wasn't because, he was a heck of a player, don't get me wrong. But it was his mind. He ended up scoring like a 32, 33 on the ACT, I'm sorry. But it was his academics and stuff like that got him that. It got him a scholarship, a scholastic scholarship, and he went to OU in the engineering program. He had a baseball scholarship there, and when he graduated and needed to take graduate courses, the American Legion scholarship kicked in because you couldn't use that and the NCAA scholarship at the same time. So, that dude went to school for free, pretty much. And he started there at probably 25. I'd say he's about 40 now, something like that. But now there's like 8 to 10 divisions that have to answer to him. So I'm not saying he's the number 1 guy at NASA, but he's awful important.
Yeah, he's working his way up there and had a role in this launch. And what an experience that he helped create for you and your team, down there to play baseball, and you get to experience this launch firsthand.
And actually, I haven't seen Jared since I watched him play college ball. I think I've seen him 1 time since then, and he came out and watched us play a couple of days. So that was pretty awesome too. I told him, I said, "Dude, you got to get ready. Us old people can't throw batting practice anymore. You young bucks got to do it." Did he
step in and do it? Does he still got an arm?
No.
No. Okay.
He still plays. He plays like what I want to call an old man league. When you're 40 years old, you ain't old. But he actually played against Doug Flutie. And Flutie pitched against him down there, and in a championship game or whatever they were doing in that league they were playing in. So he got to meet him, and got to hang out with him. That's pretty cool. Jared's had a heck of a life.
Yeah, and again, a great experience for you and your team
Yes.
down in Florida last week to watch the launch of Artemis, and you won some baseball games along the way. So that made it even better.
I mean, that's the main reason we went, but it was pretty good, especially that they got to see something they may never ever get to see in their lifetime again.
That's true.
And they can tell their kids and grandkids about it, so that's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for getting back with us.
Tom.
I'm sure we'll talk again, and we'll likely see you in Huntington this year for the state baseball.
I was getting ready to say I hope to see you in Charleston, but no. I hope to see you in Huntington.
Yep, very good. Coach, thanks. We appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Coach Kevin Gertz there of Logan.